Okay, now, for those that have paid attention, I have spoken in the past about a great-grandfather. His name was Reg Kirlew, and my grandfather was also called Reginald Kirlew. Between them there was one difference, and that was their middle names. One was Arthur and one was Edward. I can never remember which way round it goes. Now, I've mentioned previously, briefly, that my great-grandfather, I often wondered if he were alive today, what he would think of his country. And that's because he died as a test pilot in a bomber made by the infamous AVRO, and it was called the Lancaster, and it crashed into some trees. And the story is that he tried to avoid houses, crashed into trees and died. And AVRO decided that the two engines on the wings of the aircraft were not enough, and they added two, and they changed the name, and from the Manchester came the Lancaster. Now, I've mentioned this previously, and I've probably mentioned there's a book where you can pretty much work out what this book is. My mum doesn't know I've got a copy, and she has a copy. But here, if I open it up to this page, 151, in Test Pilots by Don Middleton, and down here somewhere is mention of, in 1941, he had a similar experience of Manchester. He tried to land at RAF Turn Hill, touched down in the field just at the boundary, hitting the tree which tore the wing off. Roy Hawker was at Turn Hill to lecture. The Hurricane Squadron saw the aircraft burst into flames immediately. The flight engineer, Derek Brown, and the test crew of 5 staggered away from the wreck. But sadly, Reg Kirlew was trapped and he died. And that's the book. I don't know. I did read, when I looked into this book a few years back, that there was indeed another book, and I lost and forgot. I can't remember what the name of the other book was. For all I know, I don't even know. No, I think this is the same one. I have a sort of great uncle that has one of these. He's had it for years. At least I think so, because I heard about this book. I was kind of obsessed. I'd always wanted to be an RAF pilot myself. And when I first heard this story as a child, you don't really sort of pay attention. 1985. No, that can't be right, because I heard about him being mentioned in the book before 1985, so maybe the other book I heard about was the book that my Uncle John had. But his death and what came out from his death kind of intrigued me and saddened me at the same time. And I was a little, not obsessed with it. I mean, it's taken me 30 years to get hold of a copy of this, but it was always something I sort of thought about. It was always in the back of my mind. as I went through things in my life, I often wondered, you know, he died for his country. And I wondered, there he is again, Reg Kirlew, test stories, not always so light-hearted, catastrophic, not because Warwick. With superb skill he managed to make perfect landing. Ah, that's a time when things went wrong and he managed to come out of it. I hadn't spotted that one when I first flicked through. You know, I sometimes think, you know, if he were looking at the United Kingdom today and Great Britain, I wonder what he would make of things and what it become. I know people have really sort of used and abused the country. There you have it. That's my great-grandfather, and his son. I was at his funeral a couple of years back, and they're both buried at Fleet in Devon, Dorset, which is apparently where my sort of that side of the family come from, which I didn't actually know. And we looked for the grave, a sort of number of us, but the headstone is not there anymore. We got the right graveyard, churchyard, but his headstone had long gone. Well, there you go. Just another little bit of proof that I don't tell stories. So that for those that have heard me mention this or read about me mentioning my great-grandfather, you know, I do try to sort of make it sound like it's genuine by mentioning that there is a book, and I'd probably name this book until a week or so ago when I was given some money. I've managed to acquire a copy of it for the first time.